Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mengs, and it's been far too long since we casted a game from the absolute GOAT of Advanced Wars, one of my favorite players of all time, Starflash 250. This game is actually submitted by the man himself. He really wanted me to cast it, and I had a quick look at it, and this game is interesting for a lot of different reasons. This game will contain a lot of what we call Scorched Earth tactics, which is where both players just are trading properties back and forth, and they're just doing what they can to limit the other player. It's a really, really cool match. But also, I really like the opponent that Starflash is going up against here. Now, this is what we call an old monster. His name is MX. I'm just going to call him MX. So you may look at this guy and you go, 1235 MMR, there's no way this guy can stand up to Starflash, right? Because Starflash reached an MMR point of 1700 at some point, right? So how is this a fair matchup? Well, you gotta take a look at when this guy actually joined the site. That's right, 2011. This is an old veteran right here. This guy played Advanced Wars when most of us were still, playing Combat versus Colin against our little brother on the cartridge, okay? This guy's been around for a very, very long while. And he was actually able to reach this MMR back in 2013, which is actually very impressive. So back then, hitting 1200 or 1300 MMR was a lot more impressive because there were less players around. You can only get to a certain MMR pool if the player base grows to a certain size. If there's only 10 really top level players fighting each other on the site, it's very hard to get above 1200 or 1300 MMR because there's only so many players you can steal MMR points from. This is why, if you take a look at chess, for example, which uses the same MMR rating as Advanced Wars, you have Grandmasters with 2500 MMR because there's just more chess players around. So there's more rating to go around. So as a result, when you look at this guy and you check out his rating and you see the time in which he was competing on the site, it is actually a lot more impressive. Now, usually when you pitch up old monsters against newer legends, the legends do tend to come out on top. I mean, they know the meta better. They played for longer in many cases. But it's still very hype to see one of these old legendary players come back and take a swing at one of the young guys. Not that Starflash is young by any means, he's been around for a while too, but compared to this guy, he hasn't. So, just because I was curious, I decided to Google Translate his profile. So, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I think he's listing his credentials. He might be saying which high school he went to, how tall he is. I do not know what Isoko no Frog is. Someone in the comment section is probably going to pick up on this and let me know. But he also ends up his profile with GG, I think I have one in all respect. So this guy seems a tad arrogant, or maybe, I don't know, might be a language barrier thing. He might just be polite. But when I read this, when someone has a GG, I think I have one in all respects in their profile, that tells me that they're very sure of their abilities. So ladies and gentlemen, I say we take a look at this match and check out which one of these two players will come out on top. Now before we start the match, we do have to talk a little bit about the CO matchup right here. So we have Adder versus Cole, and I actually have something prepared for this because I was going to talk about, what the difference between these two COs are, because a lot of new players might be a little bit confused. I remember when Dual Strike came out, I used to think that Cole was just a better version of Adder, because of course, he's got the movement with the firepower increase, and Adder does not. But the opposite is actually true in many cases, and Deegis actually made a really good short. And I'd like to show this. Short off because it's actually pretty cool.
How is Adder better than Cole when Cole seems to be objectively stronger? Adder and Cole are two extremely similar COs. Early game bad guys with low cost powers that give their units 1 and 2 movement bonus for a maximum of 5 power meter. But Cole also has the passive ability where his units on roads gain 10% extra firepower, and his powers will double and triple this boost respectively. So how is he worse? While their superpowers cost the same amount of power meter, Adder's normal CO power costs 2 bars, while Cole's costs 3. This means Adder can spam out his CO power way more often, even twice in a row if he has a full power bar. And because powers also give a 10% bonus to firepower and defense during the turn they're active, this small difference actually results in Adder having a much higher win rate than Cole on most maps.
All right, so really good short by Djus here. Definitely go check out his channel, Djus Productions, right there. Phenomenal content creator. So I thought, why not just show it off, because it actually, he explains it really well. However, we still need to talk about this map right here. It's called Verdum of Valhalla. This map has been around for absolute ever. It is a very old map. I actually would like to check when it was actually created, but I don't want to mess up my overview. So it's been around for a while. This map is like as old as it gets. So it's actually a good thing, I guess, for MX being a returning player, that they're playing on a very old school map. And while it is true that Cole is generally considered worse than Adder, this might actually be one of the maps where he's comparable, or maybe even a little bit better, because look at all these roads. Look at all these roads. Now, sadly, and this really sucks, there are a lot of bridge tiles on this map as well. These bridge tiles right here, they look like roads, they act like roads, they sound like roads, they function like roads, but they don't give Cole the bonuses. I really wish, honestly, that Advanced Wars by Web just gave Cole bonuses on bridges as well, because that would actually make him a more viable pick on a lot of maps. So just know that these tiles right here do not work for Cole in terms of bonuses, but all these tiles do work. So this means that Cole can actually reach some wall breaks that Adder cannot, and that is actually pretty good. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? This match has had a very long setup, and I do apologize for that, but I do felt like, explaining all these things. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get started. I'm excited for this match right here. It's going to be a good one. Got MX in the black trunks in the north position. Starflash in his classic purple trunks in the south position. Who will come out on top? The legend or the returning monster? So, Verdum of Valhalla has a couple of really interesting points to it. This black boat right here, which you can use to like shove some infantry around. It's not usually that consequential, but you can use it to kind of boost your infantry around a little bit, which is nice. You could also send air units back to get repaired by it, which is like not super common, but it is something you can keep in mind. You also have these islands right here with a comm tower and a port, which you really do want to take at some point. You can either build a T-copter and transport the infantry all the way over here, or you can do what I like to do, just build a black boat here, use the black boat to get the island, and then use the black boat to ferry infantry down here. I like doing it. I know 7,005 is quite a steep investment, but I do like doing it. So, yeah, let's see how these players match up against each other. I do believe the opening... Oh, interesting. MX opening up Recon against the GOAT. Let's see how Starflash deals with this. Recons are very good on Verdum, because, again, the roads just allow them crazy movement. And they can do a lot of cool things, like they can... they can go around here, harass on the right-hand side. They can go to the left, harass in the center. Just a lot of cool things you can do with this Recon. You also have these, like, 3 shoal tiles right here, which effectively work as roads. So you can see the Recon has quite a lot of mobility from the get-go. So let's see. Starflash appearing pretty confident right here in the early goings of the match. He's just building infantry. Doesn't really care about the Recon. So let's see where MX decides to send it. He sends it right down the center. So just look at the movement range on this thing. It can practically go anywhere, which is really cool. And Starflash still not building any tanks, but I'm assuming he's probably going to build one right now. There we go. Tank on the right-hand side right here. So this side is going to be Starflash's strong side, because he has 2 bases that can easily reach it, whereas MX has to go around this long roundabout way. So this is MX's weak side. This is his strong side. And the middle is kind of usually not fought over that much on Verdum, because it's kind of hard to push forward here with the bases being in reinforcement range. You really don't want to be fighting in the middle in Verdum. It's like a losing fight for both players. As a result, Verdum tends to be fought over on the sides. I have seen a few Verdum games where there have been fighting in the center, but it's very uncommon. Usually only happens when both players agree to do it. But I really like the Recon movement from MX right here. He is denying Starflash a property, so this infantry cannot go and capture because this Recon is here and the tank is not in range. So really cool opener by MX right here. You see these old monsters tend to have really cool openers because they've been around for so long on the site. they might know a few openers that most players are not aware of. So, tank coming out on the left side from Starflash right here. And MX is now moving out with a tank on his own. I will say from the opening of this match right here, MX looks really good. Like, this is a solid opener right here. Just denying Starflash the city. May not seem like much, but every single income matters here. And interesting, MX actually putting his recon on the forest to hurt Starflash's capture game. Sure, he's going to get struck in here by this tank, but he can just pull the recon back and have it repaired. So this is interesting. He's actually denying Starflash a lot of momentum early on here, and even going for the com tower. Now, Starflash can absolutely interrupt this, but if he wants to interrupt this, he has to not go for one of these cities. So MX in the early game right here is playing really interestingly. He's doing what he can to slow down Starflash's capture momentum, deny him economy, and forcing him to choose between two things. Like, you want to interrupt this? You're not going to get the city. So he's playing really aggressively. I love his playstyle so far. It's not very often you see Starflash being the one aggressed against. It tends to be the other way around. But Starflash goes for the hit here. He could surround the recon, but he decides not to do that. He doesn't want to give his opponent the com tower. So it's going to be rough now for MX to evacuate this recon unless he wants to come around with this tank right here. I guess because this... And we'll see what Starflash does with this infantry right here. You see going to... Okay, he moves it away. So I guess the recon could technically go around. If MX could evacuate this recon, that would be good for him, I think. Starflash now going mass tank. So he's got 3 tanks produced right now. Starflash might just be going for... He might just be trying to overwhelm the old monster with tanks here. And now Starflash is rolling out on his strong side. And he's going to try and deny this com tower too. These com towers tend to get denied a lot on Verdun. Either both players go for the com towers, or they can stay like... They can actually stay neutral for like the whole match, which is kind of interesting. So MX is moving his tank around the side here. He's going to try and evacuate the recon away, I think. Yeah, putting it on the city here. So Starflash really doesn't want to kill this recon now. That's not favorable for him at all. But I'd say this recon really did its job. It hurt the infantry. It denied the city. It has significantly slowed Starflash's capture momentum. It's just a very... So this is as good as a recon opener gets, I think. I think Deegis would really like this. So now, Starflash is going to go, you know, you're going to deny me, I'm going to deny you. Place the tank on the com tower. Denies MX from getting that com tower. And again, this is what I was talking about with the black boat earlier, like how you can use it to transport some infantry around, give them a little bit of extra movement. Every little bit helps in a competitive game where both players are really high level, you know? So already this is a very complicated matchup right here. Lots of things happening all over the map right here. Starflash going for multiple captures on the left side, trying to deny as much as he can on the right side. Let's see what MX does. He has this injured recon. He might want to start attacking infantry with it again. We'll see what he decides to do. Goes for this capture right here. Yeah, still lots of uncaptured properties for both players right here. And MX finds a nice little shot right here on Starflash's infantry. Of course, Starflash probably knew this. He just forced him to choose between these 2 targets right here. So he wants to at least get one city out. But so far, Starflash is taking a lot of early hits right here. Like a lot of early hits. He's taking a hit here. Or sorry, he's taking a hit here, here, here. MX is playing really well. So, as day 8 rolls in, both players look to be pretty similar. I wouldn't say one player has a distinct advantage over the other, but MX just had a really solid opener right here. And Starflash is getting kind of cheeky right here. I wonder what he's up to. He's actually attacking MX's infantry here, knowing full well that this tank can come up and strike him. I'm kind of concerned. Can't Starflash get his tank surrounded? Yeah, like... If MX moves his recon, his infantry, and his tank, I'm pretty sure MX can isolate this tank and pick it off, so... I'm not really sure why Starflash decided to do this. He also built a battlecopter last turn, Battlecopters can be very strong on Verdun because of all the mountains. If you open up the pipe seams, that can actually help a lot with dealing with them, because Anti-Air have a pretty hard time capturing these battlecopters. So I would actually open up the pipe seams if there's a lot of battlecopters on this map. Mech coming out from Starflash right here. Mechs are very strong on your weak side because they can traverse the mountains very quickly, and they can actually be you can like put a mech here and here to deal with whatever tanks wants to come on your side. So mechs are actually pretty good. And Starflash what? Oh my goodness, he's playing so aggressively here. He's giving MX so many targets to hit here. Huh. Wow. I guess Starflash got kind of peeved off by MX going for all of his infantry, and he decided to say, okay, you know what? You're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. They're both kind of scorch-earthing each other here by just going for each other's infantry to limit their capture potential. But I have to think that Starflash gonna take a big beating this turn. I mean, look at this. MX starts with this engagement right here, 8-4, and that's just exactly what I was afraid of. Yeah, he surrounds the tank. He doesn't even need to use his recon to do it. He even gets the recon on the comm tower. This guy's playing phenomenally right now. And he wipes out Starflash's infantry, and then he gets a really good shot at this tank right here. 9-4. Oof. Oh my god. This is a pretty scary opener. If I didn't know better, like, I know Starflash has insane comeback potential. If I didn't know better, I'd say MX is kind of mopping the floor with Flashy here. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, he's taking so many good engagements. But let's see what old Starflashy can pull out here. Moving forward with a lot of infantry in the center here, pulling his tank back for repairs. Mech is moving over the mountain, ready to guard the tanks. More tanks coming out. Day 10 rolls in, Anti-Air comes out, interrupts the capture. And MX actually decides to finish off this tank right here. And goes for the property on the left side as well. Pulls back his tank for repairs. There comes the mech to finish off the tank. So Starflash is definitely behind right now. He's taken a lot of bad engagements against MX right now. He does have his power ready. Let's see, is he going to pop it? No, he's going to hold it for a little bit. Oh my goodness, Starflash is so aggressive, man. And he pops a side slip. Let's see what he decides to do with it. Is he going to go for the... Oh, he's going to go for the mech, I think. Yeah, look at that. And even if his opponent gets his power on the next turn, this battlecopter is still not going to be in range. So this is the advantage to playing Adder against Cole. You do, like, that's a beautiful hit as well. You just get your normal power a lot sooner. That's a beautiful counterattack by Starflash right there. And just like that, I feel like he's evened out the advantage that his opponent had against him in the early game. That is an absolutely beautiful power. He even attacks the pipe seam a little bit with an infantry. That's cute. Okay, interesting. Starflash lures his opponent in and sucker punches him. Let's see what MX decides to do. As Cole, you do kind of want to pop your superpower more than your own normal power, because the superpower is just more value for your buck. Like, for 2 extra stars, you get a bunch of extra firepower and movement. Adder really just want to pop his normal power, but Cole is more partial to his superpower. More battlecopters coming out here from MX, more mechs. And he really does not want to let Starflash get this comm tower. Starflash does survive with 1 HP, though. And this mech is beautifully positioned on the city right now. And again, using that black boat to its full capacity, moving infantry around, it does matter quite a bit. Day 11 rolls in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what Starflash can pull off right here. This mech has been so valuable, man. It's gotten 2 tank shots off. Talk about value right here. And Starflash pulls his 5 HP tank back to deal with this one. There's another mech guarding this mech from the city. Such a strong position. Again, mechs are amazing on Verdun in this position. And yeah, Starflash continues to just take a bunch of really good engagement right here. This battlecopter will get picked off. But Starflash gets a tank out of it, and he builds an Anti-Air to deal with the battlecopters coming his way. Alright, day 12. Are we going to see a Trail of Woe? Yes, we are. Here it comes. 2 extra movement, 30% extra firepower on roads. It actually becomes 40% because of the 10-10 boost. So it already gets a road boosted battlecopter right here. Yes, battlecopters do get the road bonus. Interesting that he didn't choose to attack from the road here. He would have killed the battlecopter. Not really sure. I guess he wanted this road bonus tank right here. So you can see 9 HP of damage dealt. That's really strong. And again, he's really getting a lot out of this road right here. He's getting a lot of nice road bonuses right here. And the 2 extra movement is the cherry on top. I mean, it's really good. He gets an extra capture right here. He pulls back his weakened tank. Goes for another capture. Pulls his tank back for repairs. More tanks coming out. Another mech. Empire beautifully denying the city right here. Strong trail of woe from right here. Very strong trail of woe from Mex. He's playing really well. Now comes Starflash's counterattack, and he pops another side slip. What's he up to, man? What's he doing? Seems to be a side slip pop to get a bunch of captures off this turn, which I think is absolutely fair. You don't necessarily need to attack during your side slip. You can pop like a situational side slip for positioning purposes, which is what Starflash did here. He just wanted to go for a bunch of captures this turn. But the road boosted battlecopter, yeah, that's not going to do a lot of damage during power, sadly, because you do get defense bonuses from your power. But, I mean, he gets whatever bonuses that he can get out of them, though. And here's the thing. He has mechs guarding his battlecopters. This mech is guarding the battlecopter. So if Starflash wants to send his anti-air in, it's going to get struck next turn. And not only that, it's going to get struck on a road, too. So this is solid right here from MX. He's positioning his units really well. I'd say so far these two players are evenly matched. And that's what I mean when I say don't underestimate an old monster, man. They've been around for a while on the site. They may know a lot of things that you don't. So here comes Starflash's counterattack. He puts his anti-air on a city to protect it against the mech. So far, both these players are really even, but I think Starflash is winning out on the left-hand side, though. When the tank comes out, battlecopter moves in, and more infantry. First artillery of the game on turn 14. First artillery on of the game on turn 14. Artillery, I don't think they're super good on Verdum. There are, I think, Starflash might be looking into blasting open this pipe seam. I think that's why he built it. Verdum, it's too open, I think, for artillery to be super effective here. It also takes them forever to get around to where they actually need to be useful. But let's see what MX can do right now. He is really milking those road bonuses for everything he's got. Like, he's getting so many road engagements on this map. It's really it's really cool to see Cole being utilized well, because I feel like he's just one of those COs that it feels like he never gets use out of his powers. But this is really well done. Day 14 rolls in right here. Starflash has his side slip ready again. Is he gonna pop it? Looks like he might be saving some power charge for now. This comm tower is probably not going to be captured in a little while. Starflash seems very hell-bent. Starflash seems really hell-bent on trying to interrupt it for as long as possible. And yeah, this artillery is definitely going to blast open this pipe seam. That's why he's building it. If he shoots on it twice and attacks like once with a battlecopter, he should be able to blast it down. And he's actually already starting by attacking with this tank right here. It is in Starflash's best interest to open up here so that his troops can move freely between the two sides. That's going to help him out a lot. So day 15 rolls out here, and it's actually, I don't know why the graphic didn't display there. We got a forced march. Okay. Let's see what happens here. He's trying to kill this battlecopter, going for the MX is going for the capture. Lots of weakened units right here, trying their best to deal as much damage as possible. Oh, too bad. He's not in range to get this. He would have loved to pop his superpower and get this engagement right here. But if you pop your normal power, that means you save some power charge for a rainy day. And he gets a very strong hit off on this tank right here. Beautifully done. And it's worth noting that neither player has attempted to capture their island HQ or island base. So, I wonder if that's going to happen at some point during this match. But if neither player builds transports, then it really doesn't matter, does it? So Starflash is slightly ahead in the capture game, but MX is capturing several cities here on this side. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, Starflash not going to let him. He's not going to let him take that capture. And yeah, they both... I mean, Starflash has gotten his com tower, but this com tower, I feel like it's never going to be captured. Not for many more turns at least. Ooh, beautiful engagement right here from Starflash. Ah, fails to kill the tank. That was a good one. Mech comes in, tank comes in. Starflash does not have to worry about... Ooh, what? It's a Sidewinder, a mid-turn Sidewinder. And he gets the Battlecopter engagement. He doesn't kill the tank though, but he gets a nice mech shot here. Interesting. Oh, he loses his infantry. That sucks. But man, I did not expect that. Uses the mech to break the pipe seam, and that pipe seam is going to fall next turn. And that's going to be great for Starflash. Going to give him so much more mobility on this side of the map. Incredible play here from Starflash. Mid-turn Sidewinder. We are on day 16, ladies and gentlemen. And the brawl continues. Both these players just beating the hell out of each other. MX goes for a joint capture. He really wants to get that com tower for the extra firepower bonus. That extra 10% matters so much in these engagements. It just opens up for so many more wall breaking opportunities. It really is important. And both players just brawling like hell on the sides right here. And MX has an artillery on his side as well. But again, it's hard to utilize artillery on Verdun, man. Like, there's just so many avenues of attack here. You gotta be super careful with them. Day 16 rolls in. Let's see what Starflash decides to do now. Again, like, all the infantry are just getting bullied relentlessly. Mech goes for the pipe seams, and now that pipe seam is open. That is so nice. That means Starflash can reinforce in many ways that he just wouldn't be able to do previously. Great mech attack. Is this the same mech that killed the other two tanks? Because this mech, I'm telling you, this mech is the MVP of the match right here. I think it's the same mech that killed the other two tanks. Someone calculate just how much value this mech has gotten over the course of the game, because it is insane. And beautiful positioning from this artillery, nestled behind the pipe seams. More battlecopters coming out from Starflash right here. And yeah, I think this com tower will actually be captured. I don't think there's anything Starflash can do to deny it. But he denied it for quite a while, and he enjoyed that 10% extra firepower against his opponent. But now, finally, MX gets the com tower at long last. He finally has his 10% extra boost. And this matters so much for Cole, because that allows him to reach the 20% firepower on roads needed to two-shot certain units on cities and forests. It is just an incredibly important benchmark to hit. Anti-air comes out here, takes out a battlecopter. And we're probably going to see a Trail of Woe next turn, I think. Nice road attack from this tank right here. Beautiful positioning of the artillery. What an absolute crazy match. These players are so evenly matched right now. It's really cool to see. And we're on day 17. Starflash has his power ready. Is he going to pop it? He seems to be holding on for it for now. He's saving it for a rainy day. He knows that it might be much more useful later on. But that Trail of Woe is so close right now. I feel like we're going to see it very soon. Starflash is preparing for it. He knows he has to be careful here. Day 18 rolls in. And MX is preparing for a huge attack now. He's preparing all of his units. He's setting them up. He knows that that Trail of Woe is going to come, and that's probably going to be a game-winning Trail of Woe if he can do it right. Starflash is enjoying a capture advantage over his opponent, though, 22-19. That does start to add up quite a bit. So Starflash can actually just relax and take it easy here. The longer this game goes on for him, the better. In fact, he will actually enjoy trading some weakened units. Again, whenever you're playing in chess, if you're ahead, you want to trade pieces, and that's what Starflash is doing right now. He's just trading pieces because, again, he is 3k income ahead of his opponent, and that means that he can just take it easy right now and wait. Every turn that goes by just gives him a slight advantage, and I think MX knows that, and he resigns. Ladies and gentlemen, he knows. He knows there's not much he can do. So, some people may think this is a premature resign, but I kind of get why MX decided to do this. Like, if you just look at the board right now, Starflash just has every advantage right now. Like, yeah, sure, could MX have played maybe for a Trail of Woe? He could have, but Starflash just has map control right here. Look at that. Look at all these battlecopters he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 battlecopters. If MX pops his Trail of Woe and moves in, Starflash is just going to shellac him. So I think that's probably why he resigned. He just knows that every turn that goes by, Starflash is just going to get more and more of an advantage. For some players, they may think, oh, it's kind of anticlimactic, why would he resign? But the thing is, when you're as good as these players are, you recognize when the board is lost. And a player like Starflash is not going to make huge mistakes that's going to swing the match back. So I do kind of get this resign here a lot. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was a great match. Really cool to see an old monster go up against a young legend. I'm doing young in parentheses right here, or in what do you say, air quotes. It's not like Starflash is like a green guy or anything. He's been around for a while, but compared to this guy, he is. So, but he played really well, and I gotta say, in the opening, rounds of this match, I really thought he had Starflash here. Like, his recon opener, he made lots of great engagements, but Starflash was just able to outplay him in the mid game, which is, Starflash is known for making comebacks. Like, he can get shellacked in the early game, and then he just comes back because he's just that good. So yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.